NeilPryde Racing Series continues in Dunkerque. The unique windsurfing tour hosted in the heart of big cities started in Singapore back in January. The host arena was the Marina Bay Sands Casino. Tens of windsurfers gathered in order to claim a place on the podium and the prize money. Among them, Faustine Murray, the gold medalist of the 2004 Olympics, and Ek Boonsawad, second in the RSX Asians. Second stop is in Dunkerque, with a lot of stars participating in this exciting tour. The windsurfers gathered early in the morning in the basin of the commercial port of Dunkerque in order to trim their boards and sails and get prepared. Despite the stress, the windsurfers had time to meet each other and enjoy some VIP treatment.
It's totally different what we do on the NeilPryde Racing Series, because it's normally inside the city on a small lake.
It's a really nice idea to bring the windsurf inside the town.
Hear everybody cheering in the small arena.
For sure, this sport is just amazing.
And I'm really happy to be here and try this new RS6 equipment.
It's a really small place, and it's really nice, really small course. Everybody is packed together, a lot of racing.
It's a really good idea to come inside the town, show the people, even if the wind is really tricky.
The concept of this series is short races in a close arena. Let's have a look at the race course. The windsurfers start between the race committee and the red buoy and go to the first yellow mark. Immediately after rounding this mark, they have to do a short slalom before a tricky upwind to the last yellow mark. Then they have to sail a quick reach in order to finish. In the first race of the RS1 fleet, there was a strong battle between Gregor Masson and Bernard Burin. They did the best start and pumped well. However, during the slalom, the wind dropped significantly and there was a crowded rounding until the top windsurfers broke away from the rest. A few minutes later, the RSX Evolution battle started, with all windsurfers keen to pump hard and win. Despite the tricky and light wind, Huguet managed to keep on top, and when the gust arrived, he accelerated and showed his skills. At the same time, the women were very decisive and had a lot to prove. Olga Myslivets took a slight lead ahead of Shaw, the top windsurfer from the UK, and did an excellent slalom. However, the second race was really different. Shaw was really disappointed with her performance and pumped like crazy in order to take a safe lead. Myslivets could do nothing but look at Shaw sailing fast and planing. After the slalom, Shaw performed a nice jibe in front of her fans before finishing first and satisfied. After a good warm-up, it was time for Antoine Albo to hit the water. Albo is 18-time world champion in PWA, but that does not guarantee an easy victory by any means. The close racing continued with exciting races in the RS1 fleet, and lots of people gathered to watch, shouting and applauding. NeilPryde Racing Series is a new concept, windsurfing in front of the people. It is a unique spectacle on a steep growth track. Then it was time for Faustine Murray to compete and show her skills. She sailed fast with no mistakes, beating all her opponents on her way to the podium. During the quick break until the finals, the windsurfers played with their boards on the water and warmed up. At the RS1 finals, Rigaud did not start well and found himself third behind Cornil and Hard. However, he did an excellent rounding and overtook Hard. However, his place was not secure. Hard headed up and pumped hard during the last upwind leg, while Rigaud remained calm and waited for the gust to get him on the plane. And so it happened. He rounded the last mark first with a great move and achieved a great victory. At the other fleet, the RS1 boys, the finals turned out to be an easy game for Masson, but the surprise of the race was Noblanc, who started behind and did not give up. He overpassed the other windsurfers one by one and fought until the end for the second place. And he achieved it. Then it was time for the girls of RSX Evolution. Shaw had an excellent start and seemed to be ready for the goal. She did not take risks and placed herself between the buoy and her opponents. However, Myslivets stayed calm and waited for the right moment to strike back. She took the lead on the last upwind, but nothing was certain. Shaw took advantage of a gust and overtook her once again, just for a few seconds. The situation looked like they could crash into each other. They both seemed to be very decisive and risked a fall, which finally happened. The faster to raise the sail would win. Then it was time for Murray to fight against Shaw, the 2004 gold medalist in Athens against the 2008 bronze medalist in China. While Maslevitz was chasing Detry from Hungary, Shaw managed to beat Murray with a slight lead. At the same time, Messiaen outdid himself and managed to win the gold at the RS1 Masters fleet despite many difficulties. It was really hard to sail in front of his rivals during all the race. NeilPryde Racing Series is not only a windsurfing tour, it's a show as well. All windsurfers, both with RSX Evolution and with RS1, had to sail a unique race, racing all together with the faster being the one to win. Too many boards for such a small area, tricky weather, and a lot of shifts and windsurfing stars fighting against younger talents. Who would win? This is what attracted many people around the race area, cheering for their favorite. Then Antoine Albo would race against his RS1 rivals only. The young guys were really keen to beat their windsurfing hero. However, Albo is a pro. Even if he was really heavy for such a race, he managed to stay second until the last mark. At that point, he showed his skill with a perfect jibe. It is really exciting to see Albo making it seem so easy to win. The last race of the day belonged to the RSX Evolution Finals. The French hopefuls would battle for the prize in a tricky race. The clear leader was Louis Benoit from the very beginning, with Pierre Lecoq and Maxime Lullier chasing him. Nothing changed during the last loop until the finish, and Benoit won the gold medal. Let's have a look at the final result. In the RSX Evolution men, the winner was Louis Benoit from France. In the women's fleet, Olga Maslevitz from Ukraine won the gold and the prize. In the RS1 fleet, Faustine Murray was the clear winner of the female fleet, while Louis Rigaud was first in the youth boys category. Grégoire Masson from France won the gold in the senior fleet, and Jean-Baptiste Messiaen in the men's master fleet. After an exciting racing day full of action, all windsurfers attended to the closing ceremony in order to applaud the winners receiving their prizes.
I was there for the second event. I was lucky to be one of the first to sail on the RS1 when the board arrived, and also to do the two first events, the first in Singapore and now here in Dunkerque.
It was nice for me to come here and try the RSX Evolution. I think it's important for the Olympic class to show progression. The racing was really tricky, but yeah, it was really enjoyable.
And the next event is going to be in Miami, so it's going to be the third event, so everybody's going to meet there again.
Stay tuned with NeilPryde for the next event in the U.S.